Good evening. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Temecula Planning Commission for January 5th, 2022. Welcome our guests tonight. We could have a flag salute and join Commissioner Ruiz as he leads us.
Sure, if you guys would please stand and join me here in the pledge. Right hand over your heart, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Ruiz. Could we have a roll call, please, Denise?
Yes, Commissioner Hagel.
Here.
Commissioner Ruiz.
Here.
Commissioner Telesio. And Chairman Watts.
Here.
And we have an excused absence from Vice Chair Shirley Trejo. Sorry.
Yes, very good. Okay, public comments next on our agenda. Do we have any requests for public comment tonight?
We have not received any request to speak.
Okay, if it's okay with our counselor, I will dispense with the reading of that section, and we'll move on to our consent calendar. All matters listed under consent calendar are considered to be routine, and all will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no discussion of these items unless members of the Planning Commission request specific items be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Two items on the consent calendar. One is minutes from our last meeting of December 1, and the Director's Hearing Summary Report are the two items on our consent calendar. So we have a motion to...
I'll move this consent calendar.
I'll second.
Moved by Commissioner Hagel, seconded by Commissioner Ruiz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's a 4-0 vote. Next item up for business tonight is selection of chair and vice chair of the commission for 2022 calendar year. The recommendation is that the commission select the chair to serve calendar year 2022, and we'll go ahead and deal with that item first. Commissioner Telesio.
Yes, since I was the main victim of the current crew we have, I don't see any reason to change. Nothing needs fixing. Everything's going in the right direction. I'd like to see the chair and the vice chair reappointed.
So would that be a motion
That's a
to
motion.
Reappoint Commissioner Watts to the chair and Commissioner Trejo to the vice chair? Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's
Can
a
that be
motion.
made as one motion? You can, okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I'll second it then.
Motion is by Commissioner Telesio, seconded by Commissioner Hagel. All those in favor?
Just,
Aye.
Aye.
no problem with the motion. Has anyone talked to Lene, since she's not here to speak?
Yeah.
I just didn't know if anyone had a conversation with her. If not, we'll just vote her in anyway.
She would have to be here to make comment, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want
I suspect she'll be okay.
Good.
If not, we'll fix it.
Yep.
So we did both of those. Do you want to deal with C or wait till next year?
Of course. This one has a little bit of a twist, kind of goes in line with the supply chain crisis we're feeling all over the world right now, and that is typically we have the gavel and the plaque available for you to recognize you, Chairman. But of course, as typical 2021, 2022, they did not have all the materials available to make that plaque for you, so we're still waiting on it, and we'll get that to you as soon as possible. But on behalf of myself and the staff, I want to thank you for running great meetings over the last year. Nothing is simple or straightforward anymore these days. And you did a great job, and you're being reappointed again as obviously it's shows that you're doing a great job as the chair. So I appreciate it very much. And we got a very busy year coming up, and I'm glad you're the chair to kind of guide us through all of that. So again, thanks a lot. And as soon as, well, I don't know if it'll be the next meeting, but as soon as the trophy shop gets all the materials, we'll be able to get you your gavel and your plaque to recognize you properly. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. I would like to recognize that half of the year, the first half, John Telesio, Commissioner Telesio, was serving as a chair, and he did a bang-up job with the Zoom meetings that we had, and I absolutely hope and pray that we do not have to go back to those, but I do want to compliment Commissioner Telesio for handling a very difficult time and leading the commission in the right direction. So thank you, John.
Thank you.
Okay, we will stop with the patting on the back and go to the public hearing. Any person may submit written comments to the Planning Commission before a public hearing or may appear and be heard in support of or in opposition to the approval of the project at the time of the hearing. If you challenge any of the project in court, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at the public hearing or in written correspondence delivered to the Commission Secretary at or prior to the public hearing. Any person dissatisfied with a decision of the Planning Commission may file an appeal of the Commission's decision. Said appeal must be filed within 15 calendar days after service of written notice of the decision. The appeal must be filed on the appropriate Community Development Department form and be accompanied by the appropriate filing fee. Our first item up on the public hearing is planning application number PA 21-0449, and I will ask if anyone wants to speak on this item. We need to have a speaker sheet, a slip with the Commission Secretary. So, planning application number PA 21-0449, a development plan for a fuel station consisting of 7 fueling pumps, a 245 square foot kiosk, and approximately 3,337 square foot retail building, and an approximately 940 square foot garage and storage space. And PA 21-0780, a tentative parcel map, parentheses TPM 38189, parentheses, to subdivide an existing lot into 2 separate lots located on the southwest corner of Wolf Store Road and Butterfield Stage Road. And we believe are going to have a staff presentation by Mr. Scott Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson and Planning Commissioners. As you stated, this is planning application 21-0449 and 21-0780, the Wolf Store Road development. So it is a development plan for the construction of a 7-pump fuel station, 245 square foot kiosk, 3,337 square foot retail building, 940 square foot storage building. It's also a tentative parcel map to subdivide an existing lot into 2 separate lots. So you can see the project location here on the screen. It's located on the southwest corner of Wolf Store Road and Butterfield Stage Road. Just for some orientation, you have the existing Ralph's grocery store that's right there. And then over here, you have the tire store. So it is located in the Villa Ranch specific plan. The kiosk will not sell alcohol. It will sell snacks, beverages, and provide a restroom, and that kiosk is open from 5 a.m. to midnight. The fuel pumps will operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then the retail building will include general sales of non-alcoholic items. In the future, if they did want to add alcohol sales to that, it would require a conditional use permit, and then that conditional use permit would end up back in front of the Planning Commission for your guys' decision. We can see the site plan right here on the screen. There are 3 ingress and egress off of Wolf Store Road, which is a private road. You have the fuel canopy and the pumps, the kiosk, the retail building, and then the storage area. So these are the elevations of the fuel center, and then that shows the location of the kiosk that's at the fuel center. And then for the retail and storage building, this is the retail building. This would be the storage building or garage. And what we did is the architecture matches the adjacent Ralph Center, and that goes along with the base material, the shape and the color of the awning, and then the overall building colors. So switching now to the tentative parcel map 38189, we have parcel 1 and parcel 2. So both of these parcels are required to meet all the requirements of the Villa Ranch specific plan, the municipal code, and the general plan. So when you have one parcel and you divide it into 2, you still need to meet like minimum lot requirements, access, everything has to be met on 2 parcels. You can't just subdivide and leave a little remainder parcel that doesn't meet all the development standards. So with that, we get into the landscaping. So what I was getting at is each of those two parcels have to meet the minimum landscaping requirements. You can't have 60% on one parcel and 10% on the other parcel because you're not meeting the 20% requirement. So the total landscaping on the project site is 20% for the service station parcel and 28.1% for the retail building parcel. And that landscape does include the fruitless olive, crepe myrtle, emerald carpet, little john, and the kangaroo paw. So we do have revised conditions of approval. Conditions of approval 9 through 16 and 20, 21, and 22 for planning application 210780, which is the tentative parcel map application, are going to be revised to include the following at the end of each of the conditions. At the end of each of those conditions, it will be stated that this condition of approval only applies if the existing recorded CC&Rs are amended. So the COAs discuss the formatting and review process of new or amended COAs or CC&Rs. So there's an existing set of CC&Rs for the entire POA out there, the Property Owners Association. So this project itself does not need to amend or create new CC&Rs. If for some reason they did amend or create new ones, then that's when they would submit for staff review, city attorney review, and then re-recordation. So we're just clarifying each of those conditions that it's only if new or amended are submitted. So in terms of environmental, it is CEQA categorically exempt for section 15332, which is a class 32 for infill development projects. And then with that, staff does recommend the Planning Commission approve PA 210449 and 210780, subject to the conditions of approval, including the revised conditions of approval that we discussed. That does conclude staff's report. I'm here for questions. We have the property owners here, the applicants here as well.
Great, thank you, Mr. Cooper. Before I open the public hearing, do we have any questions of staff?
Yeah, just a question, and I did see somewhere in the report, I don't remember exactly which part it was in, but topic of traffic a little bit. I mean, that is a private road, and with 3 spots coming in, I mean, what's the anticipated, vehicle travel in there, and is there going to be any additional stop signs, stop lights, or anything? I know it's still that private road, but what's that going to look like with the gas station?
You are correct. I'll hand this over to our principal civil engineer, and he can talk about the intersection and striping.
So we have been working with the applicant because we thought the same thing, especially with the school traffic and everything else. And so we worked with the consultant to come up with a proposed restriping layout to accommodate that. However, we're also going to work with them on looking at how the signal functions over the next as it gets implemented. So therefore, we did do a condition of approval, or a condition that they would have to enter into an agreement with us. They're going to provide a certain amount of money that would be put into an account so that we could look at, if we had to make a signal mod, we could use that money. If not, we'll return it. But we're going to evaluate that as it goes.
Okay, and that's part of it, then
That is part of the package, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And just for clarification, that's COA 86 for the development plan talks about the funds that we were talking about.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So, kind of follow up on the private road issue. Is there an issue with the fact that you can only enter and exit on the private road? I would gather that property is part of the POA that's there, so that gives them the right to, use that road. Is that right something that could be taken away from them?
No, it couldn't be taken away from them, and then also you would not be able to have any ingress or egress onto Butterfield Stage because of the spacing between the existing signal. The parcel's just not big enough to create any amount of turning.
Yeah, and as a clarification, Commissioner Hagel, even though we call it private because it was never built to a city standard. It was never built to a standard that could be accepted.
Right.
You see how wide it is, you've seen the speed bumps, you see everything that's out there. So it is a public access though, so it's not private in that way, it's just privately maintained by the POA. Should someday they want to turn that into a full public right-of-way that is maintained by the city, it would have to be brought up to city standard, but in the meantime, it is public ingress and egress.
Okay, I was just concerned, I would hate to see them have that right taken away and they're stuck. So the other question I had is regarding the 2 parcels. Is there a reason to subdivide it?
I can answer that, but the applicant could also speak to that.
That's fine,
Is
yeah.
the owner is retaining one parcel for himself for the retail building, and then Ralph's is building the fuel station for themselves on the other parcel.
Okay, I kind of thought it was something like that, but I wasn't sure.
Any more?
Hey, Ron, I'm looking at the aerial map here again. Is there going to be a driveway then? Could someone come directly from the Ralph Shopping Center straight across into the gas station? Is that the idea there?
We're evaluating that, because that's a movement that is kind of dangerous. And so we don't want that to occur. That's why there is going to be the restriping. And we're going to have more of a left in coming up off Butterfield Stage. We don't want that turning movement to happen. And therefore, that's part of the condition that Scott mentioned.
But is that, can we pull that spot back up where it showed the ingress and egress, either here or the one that actually showed? Is that where, would a driveway naturally go there where vehicles are going to be tempted to just jet across anyway?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is a movement that could happen.
okay.
So we're very well aware. We just could not establish that during this entitlement phase. We want to do a full evaluation after construction,
And
which is,
that's part of that study then?
that's right.
Okay, thank you.
I would hope that we don't have this issue that we had at the charter school in Margarita where people were coming out of the driveway and going in the turn lane and then going across using it backwards, which, created some real dangers at times. And they were knocking over the bollards that were put there. And I mean, we had all kinds of issues, but I gather that's been resolved. But
Yeah.
it's just something I wouldn't want to see them have to.
And I think
deal
that that's
with
one of the
either.
reasons we took a more preemptive approach of working with the applicant to make sure that we could evaluate in the future, rather than implement something now, have them implement something that doesn't work.
That doesn't
And
work,
so
yeah.
we want to see how it functions because of the uniqueness of Wolf Store Road, as well as how the traffic actually moves out there.
Excellent. So,
Very good. I will open the public hearing now, and care to speak from the applicant? And you may have some questions from the commissioners here. We'll see.
Thank you, Chairperson Watts. I just wanted to start off by, and Commissioners, I just wanted to start off by thanking the Temecula planning staff and the engineer staff for helping us get this development going on with this particular property. I know it's a unique lot, so we are working, we have been getting a lot of guidance from the city, and that's been very helpful to help get this pushed through. Scott Cooper, our planner who was assigned to the case, he pretty much covered everything. So I'm just here to answer any questions if you have any regarding entitlements and hours of operation and whatnot, so.
I apologize, I missed your name.
Oh, I'm sorry, my name is Kevin Zank.
Kevin. Do you have any questions?
just to comment, first of all, I think your station's going in a great place because there's not much down there as far as competition. And you've got a very, very large population that lives kind of behind you there. So I think that's really great. If you have any say over the operations of it, the one suggestion I would have is that you have all the cars go in one direction and go out the other, so that you don't have cars competing for a spot in a fuel pump. And there's gas stations I go to where it's just crazy because people are trying to come in from both sides, and it just really gets a lot of people angry and everything else. But if that's something that's possible, that I think would really, really make a lot of people very happy that use your station. So.
Yeah, and we'll definitely take that, Commissioner Hagel will definitely take that into consideration. I know that there is enough when, for the fuel facility, they do try to maintain a minimum drive aisle width, and that allows some circulation for traffic going both ways.
Yeah,
so that
it's just that when two people want the same spot,
Yeah.
it can get ugly.
Thank you very much.
Is it?
No other questions? I will go ahead and close the public hearing. And entertain any discussion or a motion.
I'll move the application.
I'll second.
Okay, item is moved by Commissioner Hagel and seconded by Commissioner Ruiz. Sorry, Adam.
And that's motion to approve staff's recommendation
approve
with
it,
the revision to the condition of approval.
Correct.
That's right. We love having the council here
Yeah.
to make sure we're on the straight and narrow. So, all right, the motion's been made, it's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that's 4-0. Congratulations, good luck. Thank you very much. All right, we are at the point in our agenda where we're going to hear commissioner reports. We'll start on my left. Commissioner Hagel, do you have anything to report? Very good.
Nothing since the last meeting, no.
Okay. Commissioner Telesio, anything you care to share?
Only if you want to find me during the week, I'm not at the Heritage Hotel anymore, I'm at my own home, but it's been off for 2.5 years, going on 3. So that's where I am from now on until further notice.
Okay, well, congratulations. I'm sure 2.5 years is just brutal
Oh,
to be
it's
out of
been
your
great.
house. We're glad to have you back, John, in your house, so good job.
Chairman, can I just, real quick, I just want to thank staff in the IT department, everyone. Putting the videos online is extremely helpful. You guys know I do some traveling for work, and when I miss, I can always catch up immediately on the meetings. I think it's posted the very next morning, so it's very helpful to kind of stay within the loop, and I appreciate that.
Well, send the thanks to our IT team back there. They're the ones who do it. Thanks a lot, guys.
Our unsung heroes. We're singing your praises tonight. Thank you. Okay, that it, Adam? Okay. I don't believe we had any subcommittee reports? No. Mr. Watson, Community Development Director report. Anything to report tonight?
Yeah, not too much. Just wanted to officially say Happy New Year's. Here we go for 2022. Like I said, we're going to have quite the full agenda over this year, so that's a good thing. One of the things that I was just talking with Maricela before the meeting is it's this time of year where we have a lot of legislation that is going into effect, a lot of legislation. And there's some legislation from last year as well that we want to get in front of both you and the City Council in kind of a joint, I guess we'll call it a workshop. It's more of a presentation by Maricela and Peter Thorson to give you a rundown on some of the pieces of legislations that are more tricky or more consequential, more impactful for the city. SB 9 being one of them. You may have heard of this one. This is where you can have up to 4 units on one lot. You can do a lot split of a single family parcel and much more. We thought that'd be good to get in front of you so you can see it. We can have a discussion about it, really understand, because there's a lot of chatter out, particularly about SB 9, but there'll be chatter about more, just so everybody's up to speed on exactly what that piece of legislation says and what it doesn't say, because there's also a lot of misconceptions about what's going on with that as well too. So look for that probably in February or March, and we'll probably do it in here. Get the council in there with you. There'll be a lot of staff in here. We did one a while back, not with this whole commission, but that was on some other housing. Housing Accountability Act. Thank you. I've lost track of all the acts, but so something similar to that, and that's coming up pretty soon. That's all I got.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I want to take a step back. I did have a report after all. I told the commission that I would represent you all at the Christmas parade, as it was held not in Old Town this time. And it was great parade, great handling by community services. Luke, I know you probably get tired of hearing all the time how great they did, but they did great again as usual. And it was fantastic to see all the people out, really impressive. I had ridden in the parade before, so hats off to community services for making that available to us. And it was really, really heartening to see all the people out on the street, and a cool night, but great job. So that's my report. So sorry I went out of order there, but I'm getting old. So Public Works Department.
Just a couple of items. Number one, construction's going to start on our next mini pump track over at the park, the Long Canyon Creek Park, over across from James Day Middle School in General Kearney. So that's our third track, second mini, so that's getting going probably next week for construction. And then, second item, tonight they're doing a burn of the lights over at the new Somers Bend Sports Park. So that's going to be all lit up tonight, even though it won't be officially a city park until next month. But in case you want to drive by, they're going to be lit up for a little while longer. And that was it.
Okay, thank you, Ron. And without further ado, I believe that's the entire agenda tonight, so I will go ahead and adjourn us until our next regularly scheduled meeting on Wednesday, January 19th at 6 p.m. here in City Council chambers. We stand adjourned.
Good job.